How do you go about making sure that you answer the question in as as much depth? Like, I mean, it can be answered fairly easy, but to appease the Google gods, it's got to be a certain length, right? Like, how do you decide what should go into that piece of content then when the question is essentially a dumb question or a question that could be answered in a sentence or two?
So my first thought would be I'll generally look at the search results and try to use those as a guide as far as the word count, the length goes. But let's just say, as a general rule, 1,000 to 1,200 words maybe is a good starting, something to kind of start with and adjust if necessary. As far as the content, that's a really good question because when I was a beginner, I was guilty of being one of the people who didn't really know how to fill that space in an article. So I would put, I hate to use the word, but fluff.
Yeah.
I was just really stressing out over it. And I knew it wasn't very good. So, but what I do now is I use subtopics, which are actually just additional keywords, relevant keywords that they add value to the article and they answer additional related questions that people may have interest in. So I'm not stuffing anything, by the way. I should be clear about that. They're relevant.
Do you have a go-to method of coming up with those secondary questions, or are you grouping them together in your initial research when you've got your big list of keywords? Are you grouping them together then, or you got the title, this is what I want to write about, and now I'm going to look for secondary keywords for this article?
Yeah, it was the latter originally. So it was until recently. It was because I'm just not going to transition to something different. But so I would do the keyword research, find the topic, parent keyword, the focus keyword, the main keyword, and then I would just pick out some relevant ones that made sense to use in an article from that same keyword list that I exported in my tool. But from here on out, I'm going to work more on using a tool like Keyword Cupid that groups them based on data. The interpreting what's best as far as how the data shows what Google's picking from the search results. I think that makes a lot more sense because I realized the light bulb came on in my head the other day. I thought, well, this is kind of doing the same thing but better. That same thing that I was doing before, but it's actually better because it's based on data as opposed to me just picking the stuff.
I think that's it's a great way of clustering them together and grouping them.
I think it's nice to have that additional way because I'm always hoping to learn more to get better. But I've had a suspicion for a while that just picking them out by myself hurt my search result rankings at times, but I can't prove it. But it's just strong intuitive feeling, So this is a way so I can at least say, well, I've done the best I can given a new approach. So perhaps if this doesn't work out as well as I hope, then I can work on other factors.